guys, welcome to Clockwork, Dan to Noodles for another breakdown of Spy X Family Season 2, Part 2, Episode number 4. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you guys are looking after yourselves, having a fantastic spoopy period. It's nearly Halloween. By the time this video goes up, it's going to be like 2 days before Halloween, so happy Halloween to everybody. Today's episode was an interesting one. There's not too much to discuss, so I've got a few bits and pieces to talk through, and then it shouldn't prove to be the most longest video in the world. But thank you guys so much for your continued support. Hello and welcome. I'm Becca. I break down anime every single week. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We've got 2 weeks now before I do my midway. I'm going to crown my top 3 OPs, EDs, and talk to you about what I currently feel is my top 3 anime, if you were to ask me on the blind. Question for today is simply going to be what your favourite colour is. Mine is blue. I love anything blue. I used to have blue undertones in my hair. I was so happy. It just made me so happy to wake up and see this blue clump in my face and be like, oh yeah, that's my hair, isn't it? I adore the colour blue. I like most variants of blue. I tend to like the more richer royal blues where you can actually see it's blue and it's not too dark where you're like, is it black or is it blue? I like those kind of richer kind of colours. I think most of them would count as a royal blue. That's my favourite colour. Let me know your colours down below. I am having a lot of fun reading the comments of these questions. I am definitely keeping this in. Not only does it help the videos a little bit, it also allows me to get to talk to you guys. It allows you guys to know me, and honestly I'm having fun. The video I had when I asked the dinosaurs, that was a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see what you guys do on one of my videos. Not quite sure if it's gone up or not. I think it was yesterday's video actually. I asked for some spooky stories, so I'm very excited to go and look at the responses to that question. Let's get straight to it. We've got 2 halves of the video yet again. Not sure if we've really got the plot in swing right now, but it doesn't feel like Spy X is pushing its plot very much, which is weird because it does feel like we're stagnating and we've gone into these episodic little bits which don't seem to be pushing anything. So if you were to take one of these episodes out and then you go straight to the plot, I don't think you'd miss out on a great deal. We've got the first chunk in the school where Anya is trying to become smart. She's worried that she's going to lose her friends because she's not doing so well at her studies, unlike her friends who really are. Just bear in mind that Anya is still 2 years younger than everybody around her, because when she thought Lloyd wouldn't take her, she lied about her age, and he obviously took her at face value and said, yep, that's fine, that's her age. Didn't do any digging into her. She is 2 years behind everybody. She gets distracted very easily. Never want to play Anya at any game because those powers of hers are really scary, but obviously they do come at a bit of a cost. I still think that Damien's group just are sore losers. She could have just got very, very lucky. The odds are there. They are very low and it's unlikely, but it's not to say that someone can't do that in Old Maid. They just should have just taken it at face value, because Anya then almost comes very close to losing. But it's that face. When she starts crying and I was like, oh, she's pulling out all the stops to get him to not take that card. It's also the fact that her face is probably being really honest. And I think she's being honest at this point because she really doesn't want to be on her own. She spent most of her childhood on her own in an orphanage, not having a parent, being experimented on. The fear of being kicked off the mission, letting her parents down, not allowing for world peace, and being parted from Becky. That must be weighing on her brain. So I do hope that she's able to keep her scores up. But it's also interesting to see that superstition is rampant in a school where results are really everything. Interesting to see that people would believe in anything and everything to try becoming a scholar and try actually improving their grades. The macaroons do look very nice. I thought they resembled strawberries. I thought they were really, really pretty. I completely forgot that George was the one who lied to them and made everybody sing in season 1. He made them all sing and it was really embarrassing. It was the musical number. Anya going supersonic was absolutely hilarious, and also showing you that placebo effects and how they work, because if you believe something is going to work, if I say here's a pill, you're going to feel happier, and you really believe me, and I've come from all these credentials and I'm like, yeah, I'm Becca, I've come from this doctorhood of happy people, you would be like, oh yeah, I believe this, and then suddenly your motivation or your openness to things might change. It's nice to see her motivated. But I do wonder, out of this entire chunk, probably the most important part of this chunk is, did Anya maybe study ancient languages? And that's actually why she's done very, very well, because as Lloyd says, if she had spelt better, she would have had a very big score. Have we suddenly found something that Anya's really good at and she just doesn't know? Because we don't exactly know about her time as an experiment. We haven't had too much information. The anime seems to be keeping things from us and letting us know when we need to know. So it's doing things on purpose to keep things vague. And I'd love to know a bit more about Anya, but we're not really going to get it. It does seem that Anya might have actually, at some point when she was being taught to be an experiment to read minds, it was something to do with ancient languages. So maybe that's a nice little hint at her past. That's really the only bottom line I took from the first half. There's not really much you can take from it. It's just that main question. The next section, there's about 2 things you can really take. The first line is essentially it. Lloyd learning about Garden and their existence and the group of assassins that are roaming the country. That's also the group that Yor is working for. Really, that is the only line that you can really take. Franky is a legend. I support his romance, but sadly, he needs to stop chasing people who are already in committed relationships, because I think he would have a better chance. Him literally yelling at the top of his lungs, I won't give you any more information. Don't underestimate an informant. Hello, Yuri wants to have a chat with you. Do you have a moment to speak with Yuri? It does make you wonder if he's aware of how loud he's being at that point in time. He's a fun character. I honestly think he should have a bit more screen time, so it's nice to have a chunk with him, but it doesn't really further the plot, because this one literally doesn't go anywhere because the person he's trying to impress is already in a committed relationship. Annoyingly as well, Franky also almost gives everything away when it comes to him talking about his inventions. So he really is in the mood just to give absolutely everything and throw caution to the wind. Attracts the army of cats, which I think is really the best death imaginable. If you were attacked by cats, you were cuddled to death, or you were mobbed by a load of cats and suffocated, honestly, I take it. That is one of the best ways I can imagine you going out, aside going in your sleep, which is boring, but a death by cat is probably the best way of going. Franky not understanding cat behaviour was absolutely hilarious, because of course, if you want something, suddenly that cat knows you want it and they start walking away in the opposite direction. Trust me guys, I have a cat. This comes from someone who owns a cat. If I suddenly need to do worming or fleeing, that cat knows, and that cat is going to run under the bed and hide from you. Cat behaviour on point. I do love the fact that whenever it comes to cats, dogs, or kids, even kids, this show definitely knows how to do its research. Anya feels like a real child. Bond at times feels like a real doggy who has real behaviour issues. The cats in this segment, they feel like real cats, rubbing against the legs, almost pushing you over, getting stuck to your clothing. All feels like real cats, and when the cat started walking away, felt like real cat-like behaviour. Now, I did wonder halfway through, does Franky in this anime perhaps have any relatives called Franky in One Piece? These two are literally the same person, right? They are both inventors. They both have moments where they've gone cyborg. Fun, loud characters. It would be interesting to find out if it's the same voice actor. I don't think it is, but they are big characters who do stick with you. I love Franky. I think Franky in both of the franchises is amazing. Don't really see him a great deal on screen. I think he is one of the Straw Hats you don't see very often. He's often sidelined a bit. But Franky in this, I love him. He's great. Now, my sleep paralysis demon that I saw last night in my room makes its way into the anime today. This is terrifying. It's no wonder that cat froze where it stood and decided that it was going to give up. Today's episode is perfect. Had to make a joke somewhere along the lines. Today's episode was interesting. Definitely an interesting one. Franky as well. His invention taken 10 years to make. It took 10 seconds to destroy. And then he got a glance from Casey to find out that Casey already had a boyfriend who she was very much committed to. He really should go and find somebody who's not actually committed. As I think they've said a few times, in a job line like they are in, it's very difficult to have a relationship because you can't be honest with them. Often enough, they don't have relationships. It's a very lonely line of work. Lloyd's only got a relationship because he's forced to have one for the job that he's undertaking. I would have thought as well with Franky, isn't his job technically to get information? Should have maybe dug a little bit deeper with Casey to find out that she had a boyfriend. Probably would have maybe taken more than like 10 seconds to talking to her to find out she had one. Last little chunk was quite nice. You're feeling like she's actually normal for once was really nice, but then Garden ruins everything by calling her, and then it's back to your reality again that you're actually a scary assassin who can take out a whole unit of men. That voice actor, the one that everyone was getting excited for, the shopkeeper, he's the guy who plays Sukuna, and he's Segure from Fruits Basket. that very famous voice actor. I could hear it. I was actually listening for it on purpose this time round. Overall, it's 2 chunks of an episode that only really had one important takeaway from both. Fun to watch, but it doesn't feel like our plot's going anywhere, which is peculiar because I know this anime at times can be quite wavering. All you really want to take from today's 25 minutes is 1, Anya might have learned ancient languages as an experiment. 2, Lloyd has learnt that garden exists. That is literally all you need to take away from today's episode. But it was a fun episode nonetheless. I hope you guys are looking after yourselves. I will see you guys again in another video. There's so much going up on my channel now. Every week we have 3 breakdowns. Those take place on Thursday or Friday because that video changes. Saturday, Sunday, and then we've got Iona videos. My Let's Plays go out on a Monday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you're looking after yourselves. Let me know your favourite colours down below and I will see you guys again in another video. Bye guys.